That's my lineage. It's just kind of like Master P. Put some respect on my name.
Well, you mentioned being there for 10 years, living in Iowa. For those who don't know, Quay moved to Iowa, like I said, 10 years ago. Met his beautiful wife, played football, all that stuff, right? All that great stuff. Building the legacy, right? Building the empire, right? Kings building, empire building. But being in Iowa, let's face it, we're not really even close to the majority in that part of the country, right? So still going back to a year ago in the video, when the video dropped, when you watched that, you know, how alone did you feel absorbing that video, and how hard was it to convey those feelings to those closest to you? Because I've met those people, those people that are closest to you when I went out to the wedding. Those are some great people. You know, I had a great time at the wedding. They mutinied against me. I had to give a speech at his wedding that I had to make my way through. Right? These are great people, but even at a point, they can't walk in our shoes. It's hard for them to really understand it. So how hard was that? How alone did you feel, and how hard was that to convey those feelings?
I felt alone, but I still feel alone. It's because my wife has to deal with, like, she had to open her eyes at some point in time that she doesn't believe it's going to happen here, but once I get out of the city, there is no protection for me. Nobody knows me. But the one thing that I would have to say is I do protect myself a little bit more. I am a certified gun owner. I do have my concealed carry. I don't carry anymore because of this situation. I mean, yes, I'm rolling out here, but I still got these. But the thing about it is my concealed gun, I don't carry in my car. It's in my wallet and it's out there, but I don't carry. I keep it at home. I don't carry it. And I feel alone because the thing about it is people don't understand. Like, the funniest thing is in this whole situation, people have told me it's in your head. It's in your head. It doesn't exist. And I'm like sitting here going, well, and then some of the examples I wrote in my videos are, haven't you seen statistics studies show that some African American kids choose Caucasian dolls because they feel like they are more beautiful and more sought after? And also, my wife was walking in a parking lot at one point in time. I grabbed her because she was about to get hit by a car. Some guy gets out of the car and he goes, "Hey, is he?" And I'm looking like, "Did you not see? Wait a minute, time out. Did anybody see the car that was about to hit my wife? Anybody?" And then, like, today, I even had to make a decision. I went to Texas Roadhouse. I made a decision. I was gonna, those little saucer things that they put like the rice and stuff like that in.
Yeah.
Nobody, I was like, they prepared, I was about to take that and just put it in my thing and be like, man, I could just have the saucer bowl and do that. But then there's a guy that was staring right across the way from me, was staring at me the whole time. I even had a little boy turn around and stare at me a couple of times because I have glasses now, I have glasses that I have to wear. And I took them off I took them off because he was staring at me and I was like, let me humanize myself just a little bit. Took my glasses off. And then this guy was staring at me and my wife goes, yeah, he was staring at you when you went to the bathroom. And I'm like, and I looked at that saucer and I looked at it for 30 seconds and I was like, is this it? And I just took it, poured it in there, made sure he was looking that I put the saucer bowl back, closed up the box, and then paid for my food and left. Because in my mind, first off, I'm in Waterloo. Second of all, I don't have any connections here. Third of all, have you been called in for anything less?
Right.
So the one thing that I feel alone is I have to go the extra mile to think about what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
mean, like you have to see like normally when somebody else can do this at a whim, I have to go, "Hmm, okay, if I do it this way, how will it look? How will it's kind of like a wave, you throw a pebble in the water, how will this break out?
You see that
Like
with
how much I have to do it all the time. I should be able to make that split decision. I can't. I need a little bit longer to make that happen.
we see that a lot with anger, right? In particular, like I know for me, I am a passionate person, right? I'm an Aries, fire is in my blood, and to this day, that's one of my biggest frustrations is us as black men aren't allowed to be angry, right? Because if we show any emotion of anger, it's up, angry black dude. Oh, why are
Yeah,
you
and then
overreacting, angry black dude?
it's
Automatically. But yet every other culture, especially Caucasians, they can be angry, fly off the handle, throws things, knock things over, and it's okay. But yet we can't have emotions of anger, or we're looked at as out of control animals that need to be tamed. And
yeah, and then I'm just sitting there like, why do I have to be emotionally like? And the problem is in that essence, if you do that, you're sought up as weak.
right,
Like, how many times can you do that without feeling like a little part of you have made you turn into a punk?
right.
Because I can't react the way that normally. Like, I also was sitting in a parking lot when when a young man died. I'm sorry, my brain is not like
You good?
clicking on who it is, but
Is it recent?
you know, George Zimmerman.
Oh, oh,
mm,
oh, Trayvon Martin.
okay, Trayvon Martin happened. That situation, I had a guy, an older gentleman. I was sitting in my Chrysler 300 in the parking lot. I had an older gentleman. Wind took his door. Like, I don't know if the wind took his door or not, but he opened his door, scratched the brakes off of my 300, down to the paint, down to the all the paint off, and then he was going into my favorite restaurant, and I had to think in my head, didn't Trayvon Martin just happen? Should you go in there and cause a scene, especially on an older guy? Swallow your pride, get back, sit in your car, drive away. Drive away. You can't do that. You can't act that way. You can't. That's that's what people want. This is what the stereotype. This is how the Quay name is stained as the guy who came into a restaurant and yelled at an older gentleman about scratching his car. But if I did something like that, oh my gosh, it'd have been a nightmare. I would have been like, and then the problem with that too is also what I had submitted. Would I have been like, yes, officer, that's my fault. This is shouldn't have happened. And then I pay for it, even though it's not my fault.
Right.
And the wind took my door. Should I take the blame for this? Should I just turn yellowtail and do this? I have to do that. I feel like I have to do this too much, and it kind of chips away at me where you're trying to be a strong black man, but yet you have to do some non-black strong man things in essence to feel like a strong black man. If you're getting what I'm
No, I
conveying
understand what
here,
you're
so
saying. I
I'm just
understand what
like,
you're saying.
I just don't get it. When is it at the point where I could be me and not feel like the whole world's gonna look at me and just be like, this is what we're talking about. This is why he should be in jail, or this is why he should be this. And no matter what, everything, my legacy, I could just destroy my whole legacy, my whole name, the respect I've, all the respect I've ever gotten as a person, and I could have just destroyed it right then and there.
Well, you bring up a point, points actually, as I'm sitting here and listening to your examples, it just goes through my head of times where, like you say, you sit in a restaurant or you're just walking through a parking lot and you can feel the eyes, right? You can feel it hitting your space and hitting your energy, and the conformality that we have to do, right, to be versatile in these situations, because you're versatile, I'm versatile, right? We were taught that if you don't adapt, you die, right? That's just the
Correct.
basic rules of nature. And what you bring up is we're only allowed to be strong black men to a point. We're only allowed to be strong black men to a point that society allows us to be strong black men, because let's take something that you and I have both heard a lot. As soon as I say this, you'll know what I'm talking about. Hey, Lamont, Christian, man, you guys are the whitest black guys I know.
I've heard that a
Man, you
lot.
guys sure talk white, don't you? And then what I've heard you give this response, and then myself thought of my own response, right? And I've heard you give this response back of, yes, because if I came in how I normally am, you wouldn't have this conversation with me. If I came in who I am, not saying I'm name a gangster person. That's saying I'm not coming in with them fangs in the air, but I'm just natural who I am. You may not have the conversation with me, but if I have to come in like Carlton with the sweater vest and whatever, now you want to interact with me because I've conformed to what you think I should be to be successful in your world. For me, my question was always back, because that's always what I do. I take what they say and throw it back as a question. So what do you think it means to be black? What is black to you? And then I watch them stumble upon themselves and try not to say something racist or stereotypical, because in their minds, they have been taught through society, through entertainment, through whatever, that being black is, we sag our pants, hat to the side, can't speak the King's English correctly, and, we can't read. That in their mind, watermelon, fried chicken, and chitlins. Like that, like to them, that's what being black is. And people don't really understand the struggle. And that's why we have these conversations to talk of what it takes to just survive the everyday grind of just going to work without cussing somebody out because you got bills to pay.
And it is, the bad part is it also is mentally exhausting.
Yes.
Like when incidents keep happening, like Ohio, Louisiana, Florida, all that stuff happens, and people are looking at us, and I'm like, it just emotionally keeps beating me up over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm already in COVID.
Right.
I'm already stressed out from work. But then now I have to worry about like society. And the thing about it is I read situations like that thing that happened in Ohio. I read those situations. I watch the video and then I just see the comments. And I just look at that. If you conform, this wouldn't have happened, all this other stuff. If the one thing that also is annoying me so much is, why can't we be like this? This is America. What can we go back to this America? And I'm like, it's still America. It's just not the America that you think America should be.
For those who don't know, he's referencing Ma'Khia Bryant, who was a 15-year-old girl who was shot 4 times in the chest by a police officer. According to the video and report, she had a knife. And the police officer, there's only like a 10-15 second clip of his body cam where he hops out the car. I think she kind of falls down, and then he shoots her with his firearm. So continue, please go ahead. I just wanted to let people know who didn't know what we were talking about.
And that one is also like LeBron is being dragged through. Hey man, I had to do the same thing. The problem with celebrities is sometimes they're in Drake voice, Twitter fingers turn into trigger fingers. I'm like, hey, you need to think about what you're doing before you do it.
Right.
Because I sometimes have to shut my mouth because I can't say what I want to say, because I'm like, this isn't conducive to the business that I'm doing. And how could these repercussions happen to me?
And LeBron got dragged through the mud for the China situation, right? Because he was very spoken towards his cause of Black empowerment and cause of Black equality, and then the things are happening in Hong Kong where they're having their own thing, and he didn't speak on it for too much, and people criticize him, but those who criticize LeBron about Hong Kong don't give a damn about Hong Kong either. They just wanted a reason to yell at LeBron. They don't care about what those people in Hong Kong.
And the funny part is
not.
everybody's dragging LeBron through the mud. But what about what Drew Brees has said, Tom Brady said?
Right.
But if it's not conducive to the subject matter that you believe in, you have to drag them through the mud. Like there's some place in Cincinnati that aren't going to play any NBA games,
right?
Because of LeBron. I'm like, hey, isn't he from Ohio? Okay. And then why do I always have to be the person who has to like translate what's going on here? And then like people look at me and it's like, well, you're an African American in America. And I go, I can't lie. I've got to the point where I'm like, I don't know what to say, man. It sounds really bad. Okay. And I'm just like, because mentally I'm already gone through it 1,400 times. What happened if that happened to you?
Right.
That means I'd have to fly back to Michigan and see my childhood friend in a casket, or Keith, or Jacob, or Mama Rose, or my brothers. I have 3 African American brothers in Michigan right now. 3 of them. I actually gave up the rest of my football career in college because the current school that I was going to was too expensive, and my parents had to take out Parent Plus loans, and my college football scholarship couldn't handle it. And I go, what happened if Parent Plus loans? My brothers need that. My mom's a nurse. And it made it seem like I made all this money. I didn't get nothing. I mean, my mom doesn't pay me anything to go while I was going to college because she had to support my 3 brothers. Right. So in essence, I'm like, I just sat there and I go, my parents can't keep taking out these Parent Plus loans on top of what happened when my brothers want to go to college. Right. Where are they supposed to get their money from? I have 3. If you called me right now and told you my brother was taken from me in any aspect, I'd be destroyed. But the problem is will I think that is a thing? That if it was taken in essence of everybody says Black on Black crime, everybody says that,
which is lazy. Black on Black crime is lazy because we act like white people don't kill white people too when they say stuff like that.
I'm just saying, and then like all these mass shootings, gun reform, all this stuff, and I'm just sitting here going, am I gonna feel, if like all this stuff wasn't happening, am I gonna feel worse if that's the way that my brother was killed?
Right.
Am I going to be less sad if it happens that way? Am I gonna be the same person as George Floyd's sister on that stand going, this is what you did to my brother? Or be on there for Trayvon Martin and be like, you killed my younger brother because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time and you felt that this is what needed to be done. If that never happened in an alternate universe, would I feel as sad and feel as bad if that situation didn't happen like that? I don't know. But the problem is the one thing that I'm getting annoyed with is we can't blame the universal shield of police. There are certain people, it's kind of like Captain America. He got this serum. He said, and I quote, I'm a huge nerd, by the way. So then,
hey, we nerds around here, yo. We nerds
okay,
right
so
here.
the Falcon versus Winter Soldier, they said that he goes, that serum amplifies the person that they are inside.
Don't give no spoilers to the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Don't be doing that on my show.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Well, there is. Wait. What? It depends on what episode you're at. But they said Steve Rogers. Okay, so Steve Rogers, he was a good person, fought for the little guy, and was sympathetic with the little guy. and he wanted to protect people and everything like that. So his serum amplified that. He got the body, the strength, everything, the mindset. But there's this other guy who comes in who has a soldier mentality, which is kill the enemy, do all this other stuff, like a bad soldier mentality. Like, don't come at me about veterans, all that. I've got several veteran friends. Not all of them are bad, and not all of them think of everybody as an enemy, all that good stuff. So don't play with me like that. But the in essence of that is it amplified his war mentality, and then he turned out to be this crazy psychopath who killed somebody, who did this, and then all of a sudden, so I feel like the badge might amplify things or stereotypes or things like that and amplify them just like that serum does.
Listen, I will 100% agree with the fact that those who put on that power cloak, I'll call it like that. Yeah, they tend to use it as a get out of jail free card in a lot of situations. And Derek Chauvin thought that he was not going to jail. I mean, when I don't know if you seen the verdict live.
I saw it. Trust me.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It was playing in my office.
Okay. So I walk in the gym. I'm doing my cardio. I'm trying to slim down, get my sexy back, right? And I see on the TV verdict, like, let me figure it. Let me get myself together. And I could feel the nation holding its breath, right? I could feel the nation on pins and needles because we had just come from the summer of 2020 where you did have the riots and all that stuff and the protests for 2 months before people got bored and stopped doing it. If this did not come back the way it did,
my God,
I was afraid. So let me ask you, Christian, CQ, how surprised was it that he got hit with all 3 charges? For those who don't know, Derek Chauvin got found guilty of second-degree unintentional murder, which comes with a sentence of 40 years, potential 40 years, third-degree murder, which is potential 25 years, and manslaughter of 10 years. He was found guilty on all 3 charges. How surprised were you that he got hit with all 3 charges?
I was very surprised. I can't even lie. I thought
he was too. Did you see his face?
I thought he was gonna skate. I can't even lie. I thought he was gonna skate.
Me too.
But the bad part is Minneapolis. Oh God, Rodney King all over again. And you thought the first riot was bad. The second time of the guy oh God, it would have been bad.
I told people, I said, listen, if he, because I thought he was gonna, if all the charges, I thought he was gonna get the manslaughter charge. But I said, if he does not get convicted, it will make what happened last year look like soccer practice. Because people will go off. They will lose their minds, right? But he gets hit with the guilty. He got the shot looked on his face because he has been taught in his mind that this is just what we do as police. As some police, I'll preference to keep saying that, right? That, hey, to protect the people, we got to crack some eggs. It just so happened that George Floyd was the egg that got cracked. Now, after the guilty charge came down, you saw a lot of posts and a lot of memes, a lot of captions of, this is the beginning of change, one down, the system to go. Do you really believe that this is a step towards ending systemic racism? At least, I guess, when it comes to the judiciary system and policing, and then towards a better America without the systemic racism in it?
I feel like, in essence, there's several steps that have been taken because here, think of this. It's like if you work on an assembly line and you're doing the tail light of the vehicle, you go wiring, tail light, boom, assembly, bam. But in essence of what happened if that hole isn't there? What happened if there's wiring missing? What happened is this. I think in this essence, people aren't going to automatically be like, oh, this matches this matches this, and this. Streamline. Boom. I know this is always what we've done. Streamline it. Okay, this is what maybe a judge will just think about it and be like, you're on welfare. You have expired tags. You're on welfare. COVID just happened. Okay, there you go. I understand where this happened. Okay, bam, bam, bam. Not, well, you could have got a real job. You could
Right.
have did this and that. I feel like people are gonna maybe have to take a second and think like we have to. When we do actions, maybe somebody will put more thought and be like, this isn't Boys in the Hood. This isn't Ricky. This
Right.
isn't The Game. This isn't rap music. This is real life. Why are you speeding? I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't thinking. I'm super tired. I wasn't thinking. This vehicle doesn't have um it doesn't have cruise control. My foot was on it. I didn't look at it. I'm used to having cruise control. This is not my vehicle. Bam. Not he's blaring rap music. He's driving in something with expired tags. He's doing this. He's got a backpack in there. He has a gun concealed permit in his thing. His license is expired. But then in essence, you're thinking, okay, he works for this. He has a concealed, doesn't have a weapon. His job, he says, yeah, I carry a backpack with the laptop in it, notebook, all that other stuff in there. Expired tags. Currently people are doing 90-day tags
Right.
for their brand new vehicles. Okay. COVID's still going on, so the courthouses are still backed up.
Right.
Okay. He lives in this neighborhood. This is the same direction that he would be going to his neighborhood. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, he has to go through that in his head and has to be like, maybe I should think about this. I mean, I understand if push comes to shove, something happens where a guy draws a gun on you, you have to make that decision right then and there.
Yeah, I want to be clear on all these talks, CQ.
Mm-hmm.
And when I talk on here, when I talk with people, not on video and stuff, my belief is this: if you buck at the police, they're gonna fire back. If you shoot at the police, then that's not an unjustified murder. Don't shoot at the police.
It's just like that thing in Ohio. I'm like, man, you just told that woman that you're going to slit her throat.
Okay, now let's talk about this since we're here.
Okay,
let's talk about this. Let's talk about this since
go into this.
Since we're here, because I've had a conversation. Somebody asked me that question, right? They said, Lamont, the knife, you see the video? And I said, yes. And my question then was, why did he go for his gun? That was my number one question. Why did he go for his gun? And the person I was talking to said, but she had a knife, threatening someone's life, this and the other. And my question always returned to, police have all these non-lethal equipment on them, right? Dante Wright has died because the police officer grabbed the wrong non-lethal equipment. She actually grabbed the lethalest of lethal equipment.
Correct.
If the Ma'Khia Bryant was going after someone with a knife, not the officer, someone else, of all the equipment, Batman equipment in that belt, why was the gun the first thing he drew? Why not the taser? Why not any other non-lethal equipment, right? Why is that the first thing that is drawn? And that is a question that I guess I ask, yourself, because you say you know a lot of police officers. That's a question I ask a lot of people. I'm not sitting here trying to take away from the fact of, maybe he had to save someone else's life or whatever the situation is. But why the gun to kill is the first thing you grab when she did not have a gun, she had a knife. What happens to all that martial arts kung fu training that police go through to snap somebody's arm in 5 places?